Number 3, what is your favorite superfood product and why? And number 4, one fun little secret about yourself that you don't want to tell anybody, but you're going to tell us.
Oh, dear.
Usually saying the last one makes everyone forget the ones I asked before. Who wants to be really brave and go first?
Myself.
What was
No,
the
it won't.
third
It'll
thing
sound
that
like
you
a choir.
said?
What's your favorite superfood and why?
Okay. All right, I'll go. My
Go.
account says Sarah because I'm logged into her account, but I'm Jen.
Hi, Jen.
Hi. I am in Ohio, Bolivar, Ohio. And my favorite product it has to be the Isopro, I think, because I use it so much.
So just the Pro, not the Pro Shake. Just the straight way?
Well, I mean, I do the regular isoline shakes too, but I use the Isopro in the isoline shakes. I use it for after workout. I use it before bed. I probably use 3 or 4 servings of that a day.
I love that you're doing the before bed. I love that. Especially because the Skidmore study proved that's something we should be doing.
Yeah, I love that before bed. It helps me not want to snack, the rest of the evening after dinner too.
Excellent. And what's the fun little secret you want to tell us?
I don't know if it's really a secret, but it's kind of like I have never tried coffee. No desire to ever drink coffee. Nothing. Not a coffee person at all.
Ever?
No.
I can see not trying heroin. But not trying coffee.
Yep.
Wow.
Never tried it.
It makes me question your humanity. I make a 12-cup pot for breakfast that I share with my wife. And then I have a decaf half pot after supper for dessert, which I share with my wife.
That's awesome.
Wow. Well, I'm glad that you started off with something really shocking. By the way, the secret you're going to share with us, remember, I don't know anything about you, so everything's a secret. So it could be that your toenails are purple, not something crazy like you've never tried coffee. So welcome to the call, Jen.
Thank you.
I'll go next.
Welcome.
My name is Norma.
Okay, go right ahead, Norma.
Let me see. I'm from Maslin, Ohio. And my favorite superfood.
Where's that near?
What's that?
Where is Maslin near?
Canton.
Where's
the Hall of Fame?
Okay, yep.
Football Hall of Fame?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. We're about, maybe about 15 minutes from there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Big football fan.
I have lived here almost all my life and have never gone yet. I have never gone.
Are you kidding? I went there when I was there.
I've never gone.
I'm
not a
huge. Shock PK call.
What's that?
Just a call just to shock PK with terrible facts about yourself. No coffee and not going to the Football Hall of Fame.
Yeah. My favorite as far as isogenics products is the Ionics. I love the way it makes me feel. It gives me that energy, it gives me that clarity. And and I keep it hot in the afternoon too, and it just gives me that extra boost. So my favorite by far.
Absolutely.
The fun thing about
for moms, I call Ionics the anti-homicide juice if you have children.
That fits. Yeah, I have a 3-year-old. Yeah.
Anti-homicide juice.
My favorite. Fun thing about me. I have not done this yet, just because I have been overweight my whole life, and so knowing being overweight, you're more limited in what you want to do. But my one thing that I really want to do is go rock climbing. It just has always sounded fun, always looked fun. So I'm gonna do that one day.
Hey.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I know you will.
I will. Yes.
Do Are you familiar with the woman Dawn Barnolini from Chicago?
No, I'm not. Uh-uh.
I'll bring her up on another call. She's about to launch a professional site. She's released over 100 pounds, but she's also now become a triathlete. And she has created a gun show of activity. And she actually said yes to participating in her first triathlon, and then remembered she didn't know how to swim and went and learned to swim so she could be in a triathlon. So you can rock climb. If Dawn can learn to swim to be in a triathlon, you can rock climb.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, thank you.
Excellent. Well, welcome to the call.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay,
Right. Who wants to go next?
I'll go. My name is Megan.
Okay, Megan, then Kayla.
And I am in Salt Lake City, Utah. And I don't know, I like everything, but I think I am really loving the cleanse. I love to do the 2-day cleanse. Feel amazing afterward. And my little secret, it's not a secret, but it's not something I go out and I guess shout about, but I love Neil Diamond. I love him.
What's not to love about Neil Diamond? Come on.
Nothing, in my opinion, and he's coming to concert, so.
Yeah. My wife just started singing Sweet Caroline off to my left.
Yes!
So.
Reverend Blue Jeans. It's my jam.
Gotta love a guy who is not young anymore. He's got some years under him, and he still steps up to the mic like he's 25 years old and rocks the crowd. No,
I know.
Absolutely.
I told my husband I have to go see him because he's not going to be performing for much longer.
When they said that Maroon 5 was going to be at Celebration last year, I said, I've never heard a Maroon 5 song in my life. I have no idea who they are. And someone looked at me and says, how's that possible? I said, this isn't a Maroon 5 face. This is a Bruce Springsteen or Billy Joel face. This isn't a Maroon 5 face. The people that I listen to are all over retirement age, and I'm only 51.
I love it. I love all of it, but Neil Diamond is just like a sweet spot in my heart.
Absolutely. And this is how close my wife and I are. We've been married 31 years. I've never listened to a Maroon 5 song in my life. She has 3 of their albums on her iPod and her iPad. But because she loves me, she doesn't make me listen to her crap.
Oh, very nice of her.
I've never heard the songs. That's what earbuds were made for. Excellent. Well, welcome to the call, Megan. Kayla, you're next.
All right. My name is Kayla, and I am from Summerdale, Ohio. And
where's that near?
It's near Dover or Philly. It's about a half hour south of Canton.
Okay.
It's right by Jen, pretty much. My favorite product, I'm addicted to the chocolate decadence bars. I love those things.
Absolutely.
My secret is I hate working out. I hate it. I despise structured workouts. I cannot do it. I don't like it. I will do anything to avoid it.
I agree completely. We went on an evolved economy couples retreat, and the host of it hurt his back at the gym in Cancun. And I said, dude, why are you at a gym? We're at a resort. Well, I've got to get my workout in. I don't even recognize anyone named Jim in Mexico. Sorry, no, not going to happen. That's okay. I don't recognize anyone named Jim in Canada either.
No.
I have a 47-acre farm. That's my gym. I'm good.
Yeah, my farm is 6 acres, and I've got enough to keep me busy. Between that and 3 kids and a nursing job, I'm busy enough.
Yep. I don't know put on special clothes to go inside a room and run in place. I don't need to do that. No. I'm with you, Kayla. I agree. The rest of you like the gym, get off the call. Sorry. Welcome to the call, Kayla. And who do we have left who hasn't shared yet?
This is Sharina.
Hi, Sharina.
Hi.
Sharina.
Sharina.
Was there a song named
No.
Sharina?
Sharona and Karina.
Sharona, that's what it was. There
Sharona,
we go.
yep,
Sharona.
that's it.
Sorry. I was thinking Sharona.
Yep.
Yeah.
I live.
It's her fault. She was singing Sweet Caroline. It's got my head going about music.
That's exactly it. New Philly area. Basically close to Kayla, I would say.
Okay.
New Philly, Dover area. I like the cleanse.
Really?
Especially second day, how I feel. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Like, yep. I mean, it's just.
I should have made this disclaimer before the call. I have a particular hatred in my heart for people who post on Facebook. I'm on my second cleanse day and I have so much energy. I just feel I could fly. And it makes me want to come to your house and shoot you in the face. Okay? I have to tell you, that's what everyone else is thinking. Okay?
Yeah.
They're not thinking the way you're thinking. They're thinking the way I'm thinking. They're thinking murderous, homicidal thoughts about your body and doing it ill. So if you have lots of energy on your second cleanse day, keep it to yourself, okay?
Yep, got it.
From the rest of humanity who's thinking evil thoughts that God doesn't like us thinking. Sorry. I should have made that disclaimer before I asked about your favorite thing, because really, when the second cleanse day comes up, I have a small mental problem that happens. So, sorry. Anyway, back to you loving second cleanse days. Go right ahead.
Okay. I guess I want to be in fit health whenever I do have or see grandkids sometime. So I guess that's my and I want to use my passport sometime soon, but I don't know when that'll happen. So so I want to go on a mission trip, I think, is passport thing. So
there you go.
So yeah.
We have a mission in Africa. So there you go.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Sandy and I started a mission in Malawi, Southern Africa, 12 years ago this September. And so today we have 15 staff that work for us in Malawi, and they oversee 4 preschools and 500 children. And Isogenics Business Builders, for a 2-year period, fed those 500 kids every day.
Wow.
We don't feed children normally. That's not a good thing to do in the third world, or they just become dependent on feeding. But we had a 2-year drought. And in their culture, as in all subsistence farming cultures in the world, when there's a drought, you don't feed the younger children. You actually just let them starve and die. And then you have more children after the drought, or everybody dies, which sounds crazy to us.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how they've existed for thousands of years. And so we started daily feeding. We raised all of the money to feed them for the first year in one day on Facebook. We raised all the money, bought all the food in one bulk amount. And the second year, we just did it by asking our students, if we helped you cycle more, would you give one cycle back to the third world? Not a week, one cycle period. Well, we helped so many students, when they gave back the one cycle, it fed all the kids for the next year completely.
That's
and now
awesome.
we're done our feeding programs now. They've got range, so we're out of the woods. But it was 2 years of feeding 500 people every day. It was a big bill.
Yeah. I bet.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I'm PK, and I live not very far from you. As the crow flies, it's a lot easier because you could go across the lake, but you drive around, it's about 6 or 7 hours, my place to your place, which is short for someone like me. And I live here with my lovely wife, Sandy. We've been together since we're teenagers. We just celebrated 34 years of dating 2 weeks ago. So we've been together since a long time. We've got 2 adult children. Our son, Corbin, actually lives with us on our farm, and he manages our farm and owns this company. And our daughter manages the farm across from us, and she is a professional horse trainer and breeder. So she breeds a type of horse called a gypsy vanner. And if you've never seen a gypsy vanner, imagine Fabio marrying a horse. That's what they come out with, just hair everywhere. Beautiful horses. And we mentor and train about 30% of the Isogenics millionaires in the world and their teams. So if you go to an event, inevitably someone's going to say something. You'll go, well, that sounds familiar. Cool. They're not supposed to say PK says, because that would be weird. And that's one of the things we're going to try to teach you is don't be weird. Doesn't help. Don't be weird. Try not to be weird about this. And we're going to give you simple ways to initiate conversations and start sharing so that you can help people reach their health goals. Every week, you're going to have another layer of skill to add on. So don't skip your homework one week, or you'll fall behind very quickly. But every week, we're going to give you brand new stuff and actually scripted things to say, like not just kind of say this. No, say these words. These words work. Just say them to a bunch of people, see what happens. But it's not a theory. We've actually worked these things out over years, what actually works. A lot of the stuff we're going to point to is on our website. And I don't know if you've been to our website yet. It's evolvedeconomy.com, www.evolvedeconomy.com. And the first 3 weeks, we're going to be pointing you back to that website over and over again to simply just grab stuff off there for scripting, okay? We're going to do one small thing off that site tonight when we bring up the magic question, but that's in a little bit, okay? evolvedeconomy.com. We also post things on our Facebook page, which is the Evolved Economy on Facebook. And we also have a YouTube channel called PK Smith or the Evolved Economy. Either one of those will take you to the same channel. We post a lot of stuff on our Facebook pages and our YouTube channels via video. So there's lots of backup. There's a backup video for what we're training you on. So if you need to hear it fresh in your head again, there's a video about it. I video a lot. And one of the rules you have to kind of capture is you got to get accustomed to doing personal videos. In the future, Facebook and Twitter aren't going to let you post, but with writing. You're going to have to prove you're a human being. And one of the ways they're going to make you prove you're a human being is by showing your face and using your voice. It's not very well known, but Twitter right now is in a bit of a Ponzi scheme because most of the people who have lots of followers, those followers don't exist. Those are fake positions, and computers are generating the Twitter accounts. Now you may think, well, who cares? Well, those people get paid endorsement deals based on their Twitter followers. So it's actually a multi-million-dollar fraud that's going on. Both Facebook and Twitter are faced with it. If you haven't got into the habit yet of doing what I call guerrilla videos, by guerrilla videos, I mean you don't try to make look like you just came back from the hairdresser. You hold up your iPhone, however life is happening, and do a 45-second video. Don't try to be perfect because you can't be perfect through an iPhone video. Just be you, but be willing to share in little 30-second to 45-second snippets. Don't do long videos. No one watches a long video. And people will watch a video before they'll read all your texts. By the way, if any of your posts say continued reading, 90% of your friends aren't going to hit the button. You just lost them. They won't hit continued reading. They won't hit the rest of it. But they will watch a 1-minute video. Now, I tested this. I typed out some information and 100 people read it. I then said the information in a video and 5,000 people watched it. Same information. In fact, it would have been quicker to read it. Nope, they watched it. They wouldn't read it. So it's an area that I'm going to push you on, is to get comfortable sharing your life with people through social media in a way that attracts people who are like-minded to you. What we're looking to do is attract people who share our vision, our values, and our habits. So what you want to share in your life is, what's the vision for your life? What are some of the values that you live out? What are the habits that you live by? You'll naturally attract like-minded people to you. And that's how you'll actually build your team. Now, another thing I want you to do right out the gate, if you haven't already done this, is get organized with your follow-up. Okay? Here's the real numbers. It takes 4 to 6 connections over 4 to 8 months to enroll your average person. Almost no one enrolls the first or second time you mention it to them. Yet, almost no one in Isogenics embraces a simple system to know when they're going to call people back. They kind of go by the, well, when it comes to mind, I guess I'll go do it fashion, which means it doesn't happen. Here is the simplest, easiest way to do it and the cheapest way to do it. Go to Walmart, buy the ugliest binder you can find. Ugly is good. because it's going to sit on your desk and remind you, I need to look in this ugly binder. This is your not now binder. When you talk to someone and share at any level and you hear a not now, you write down their information on a single piece of paper that goes in that binder. You don't put anybody else's information on that paper. That single piece of paper is the story of that person's enrollment. You put their page in your binder. Very clearly writing down when was the last time you talked to them. And you keep adding people that way to your binder so that you go through your binder for follow-up, and when you talk to them again, probably in about 6 weeks after you've heard a definite no, you take them out of the binder, put them at the bottom of the stack. Your job is to go through the stack every 6 weeks. Now, I can tell you that most of you don't want to do this. Why? Because no one wants to do this. I've been teaching this for years. And then I'll say, where's your binder? Yeah, I haven't got to that yet. Or I bought a binder. Does it have anything in it? Oh, I forgot to buy the paper. Okay, then now you have an empty binder. Congratulations. You have an ugly, empty binder. Doesn't work. It's scary the number of people who think that they're going to remember the names of people they've talked to. You're not going to. Or more sadly, if you can remember the people you've talked to, you're not talking to enough people. You should be connecting with so many people. There's no way you can remember who you talked to. The biggest mistake that builders make is they're waiting for 5 of their friends to say yes. No, you want to be waiting for 500 people you've met to say yes. You need a larger base of people you've talked to, you've connected with. So I would encourage you this week, as part of your homework, to go to Walmart, buy an ugly binder, and buy some paper. And start your process of keeping track of who you're talking to. Let me tell you one scary story. Just one. His name is Robert. He's an Isogenics millionaire. We've been talking to years about him going to Walmart. He refuses to go to Walmart. He refuses to get a binder. So I said to Robert, please tell me the scariest story about you not following up. He says, oh, I've got one. Oh, I know you do. Tell me what it is. He says, well, I was at a Secret of the Millionaire Mindset seminar, and I met a very successful network marketer who was going to leave his company. We went for dinner. He was very interested in Isogenics' product line and their compensation plan, but the timing wasn't perfect. So I went home and forgot about him completely. And the next time I saw him, he was in an article in Network Marketing News because he had left his company, gone to a new company, and made $1 million almost instantly. So go to Walmart, get a binder, buy some paper, start writing people's names down in one simple place. Now, some of you are going to say, I like to do that on my computer. Don't do it on your computer. Why? Really easy to ignore a file on your computer. Not easy to ignore an ugly binder you bought at Walmart. Ugly is best. Not pretty, ugly. And on it, in big black marker, you write, not now. This is my not now book. These are the people who've said not now, and I'm going to circle back until they say yes. What do you think of the homework first of getting your binder and going to Walmart? Willing to do it? Next week, we're going to be on camera, and I'm going to ask to see your binder. And if you show me one that you just stole from your kid, I'm going to know. Okay? I'm going to know. That one's got butterflies on it. That's not ugly. You just stole that from your kid because you remember you didn't do your homework. Okay? So what we want to do in our connecting conversations is to learn to have what we call a fly fishing conversation with someone. A fly fishing conversation is where we're just creating curiosity and hearing before we speak. Now, the opposite of a fly fishing conversation is something that we call verbal vomit. Have any of you ever found yourselves guilty of the dreaded verbal vomit? Kayla put her hands up really fast. Wow. Kayla, you said you were a nurse. What kind of specialty of nursing do you do?
I worked with geriatrics for 6 years, and now I'm working with developmentally delayed individuals.
Wow. Oh, wow. That's a really challenging time.
Mm.
You have a lot of smart things in your head about nutrition, don't you? Really makes you kind of feel like a bottle of ginger ale that's been shaken up really high, and you got to let it off every once in a while at somebody, right? We don't
And
want to do
people
that.
have no idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. So we're going to try not to do that. Now, some of you, maybe you're not as bad as me, like your verbal vomit has risen to a level that it's almost like you're having a psychic experience where you've risen above your own body and you can look down and you can actually see you verbally vomiting at the other person from like a third person situation. And you're screaming at yourself psychically, you got to stop talking. Like, stop talking. Let the other person say something, but you just can't do it. Like, you can't, it just doesn't happen. And the verbal vomit just continues. Ever been that bad? Ever been in that situation where you've caught yourself, you've tried to stop yourself, and you can't stop yourself even though you know you should stop? Yeah? Okay. We're going to learn how to stop that cold. I mean, just completely cold. Now, how we're going to do that is by learning how to create curiosity and how to just answer questions that people are asking. Now, this is an important lesson, and it bears writing down. A human being can only hear the answer to a question that they actually have asked. A human being can only hear the answer to a question that you've actually asked. So when you're downloading a whole bunch of big, long words at someone that have nothing to do with what they brought up, you're just Charlie Brown's teacher. They don't hear any words. They just hear wah, 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 wah. They don't hear anything. They don't remember anything. Why? Because to be honest, you stopped talking to them. You started just talking to yourself. We don't want to do that. Now, there are 3 rules to fly fishing. They're simple. Rule number 1, when someone asks you a question, always get them to help you answer their own question. Don't become the answer lady. Now, if you choose to ignore this rule and answer people's questions constantly, it will have a direct effect on how much money you can ever make in this business. You're now the product expert. You're not a businesswoman. I like people to change their mentality and say, oh, I'm not a product expert. I'm a product enthusiast. I love this stuff. I don't really know how it works, but that's okay. Isogenics will explain it to us. I understand it cannot be applied topically. It has to be ingested orally. After that, I'm out of my league. Don't have a clue. Or as I say, I don't know what's in beer and I drink it. So why would I care what's in a shake? Don't care. Now, you might not want to be as dumb as me, but you want to move my way. You want to move my way. And when someone asks you a question, we're going to show you the coolest trick in the world to show them where the answer is. So let's say you're having a face-to-face conversation with someone and they throw a real curveball at you. They say, PK, my wife's diabetic. Can diabetics use Isogenics? Now, I can see by a glint in some of your eyes, you have an answer to the diabetic question. It is right there on the tip of your tongue. You're going, ask me. I know the diabetic answer. I know the answer. Come on, teacher, ask me. It's right on the tip of my tongue. My next request is that you chew off the end of your tongue. That is a very medical question. Don't be answering medical questions. You're not a doctor and you don't play one on TV. Don't do that. That's a terrible alley to go down. I can show you a genius way that I invented to answer that question. I call it evil genius. Evil genius. So I would say to the guy, hey, do you have a phone on you? Why? I want to show you where all the answers are found. Now you're going to think I'm going to take him to isogenicshealth.net. No. nope. I'm going to take him to Google. Going to take him to Google, and in the Google search line, I'm going to have him type in ISA FYI. ISA FYI. And then put in a little space, then type in the word diabetes. I don't know how to spell diabetes, but he will because his wife is diabetic. So ISA FYI space diabetes. Now hit search. When he hits search, he'll get back every single press release Isagenix has ever created on how their product interacts with the diabetic community. Now, what happens if later on that day he wants to ask another question that's not about diabetes and he goes to Google? What if he doesn't remember all 6 letters of ISA FYI? What will Google do for him? Your lips are only moving.
It'll auto-populate what he typed in before.
Oh, look what Evil Genius just did. I just put an Isagenix business tool in his phone, and he doesn't even know it. But my Evil Genius knows no bounds. What happens if he goes home and picks up his iPad and goes to Google? Is ISA FYI in his iPad too?
Yeah.
What if he goes to work and goes to Google on his laptop? Have I put ISA FYI in his laptop workbook?
Mm-hmm.
I have put an Isagenix business tool into every device he owns in the entire world. This is where we do the evil laugh. Now, think of this. We're not all Kayla. We're not all nurses. Well, I didn't ask what you did for a living. You're not all nurses, are you? That would be weird if you were. Good. Okay. So you're not all nurses. So you shouldn't try to act like one. And even if you are a nurse, you shouldn't act like one, because that encourages the other person to think they could never possibly do what you're doing. This is the key to finding your business builders, keeping it so simple that they can see themselves doing exactly what you're doing. It was so simple. We don't want to be extraordinary. We don't want to be amazing. We want to be a little boring and drool in our soup. We don't want to be fantastic. Why? That gives everybody else an excuse. Well, I couldn't do that. Did you see the 7 long words she said? I can't say those 7 long words. I don't even know what they are. When I first joined Isagenix many years ago, it was in a time where everyone felt they had to kind of pretend they were 3/4 a nutritionist. And they would use words that I knew I didn't know. And I knew some of them themselves didn't know. They were just saying them to make themselves look smart. I was at a training one day, and the woman kept saying the word acidophilus. Have any of you ever heard of acidophilus before? Yeah. She said it 7 times in a row, though. And by the 7th time, I finally snorted at her. I thought it was funny. She said, "What are you laughing at?" I said, "Well, it's a funny word." "Well, why is it a funny word?" "Got the word ass in it, and you keep saying it. It's kind of funny." "I don't even know what it is." And she looked at me like I was the dumbest person in the room. Now, ironically, I was one of the speakers. And she's looking at me like, "Do you know how to tie your shoes?" Hey, people who know how to tie their shoes don't know what acidophilus is, okay? Most of you in this room don't know what acidophilus is. The dophilus part makes it sound like a Greek word. Acidophilus sounds like a Greek dictator that invaded Crete in the 1950s. General Acidophilus has come to the island. Doesn't sound like anything I know anything about. Now, fortunately, we don't do that anymore in Isagenix. We don't go to events and people try to show you how stupid you are. We used to. Every event you went to, you went, "Well, I'm pretty dumb." We don't want to do that when we're connecting with people. If you use this little tool of showing them how they can look up their own answers, they'll be more confident to try your product, but also more confident to share your product. One of my students learned this one night, and the very next day she's enrolling a chiropractic clinic. And the doctors start throwing fastball product questions at her. She raises her hand and surrendered and said, "Guys, I'm not a doctor. You can't ask me these questions. Let me show you the shortcut." And she shows them the Google shortcut. After 5 minutes, she had to make them put their phones away because they wouldn't stop Googling all the questions. And their response was, We don't need to know any of this crap. We could just show them 6 letters in a Google search. This is golden. These are doctors talking this way. Imagine how your hairstylist will feel when you give her this shortcut. She doesn't need a degree in medicine. She needs to know 6 letters. She doesn't need to know 6 letters. Just needs to go to Google. It will remind her what the 6 letters are. Keep it very simple. Show them how they can find their own product answers. Do you see that? How that will help to not verbally vomit with people? Don't get confused and take them to ICE FYI. Take them to Google and then put in ICE FYI, a space, and then the question. By the way, it also answers all the business questions. It's not just a product key. It's also a business key. I didn't know this. One of my students heard it, and then the next day someone said, "What's 4-star?" She says, "I don't know. Look it up. ISA FYI space 4-star." There was the description of how much you earned when you were a 4-star. There was even a step-by-step plan on how to become a 4-star just by hitting a Google search. This is way better than sending those massive websites, which frankly are getting way too large every day in isogenics, and trying to find something in it that they're looking for. It's all found through a simple Google search. Now, here's the question. Do you think that the person will trust the answer more if they got it from a corporate site like isogenicshealth.net or from a generic Google search? Which will they trust the answer of more?
Google.
Google. You just invented third-party validation by how you took them to the answer. Now, you may be thinking, this isn't what we're taught at corporate events. Oh, I know. At corporate events, they're showing you how to win a home game. I show you how to win a road game. By the time someone shows up in Gilbert, Arizona, they're pretty excited to join Isogenics. That's a home game. We don't have any home games. We're talking to people say, ISA who? ISA what? What are you talking about? What are you doing drinking shakes? You joined a cult? You're happy all the time, right? Or as one teenage daughter asked her grandmother, I think mom's high. What do you mean she's high? She says, she's in a really good mood, and I checked the liquor bottle. She's not drinking. Well, no, she's doing that isogenic stuff. Nana, there's no food that does this. I think mom's high. And she wasn't even thinking weed. She jumped all the way to Breaking Bad. She was thinking meth. I mean, she was gone. Like, woo! Where's the RV and the gas masks? Why? Because mom turned into this different person. Why? Mom seriously needed the anti-homicide juice in the Ionics, like big time. It might have been because she had a teenage daughter who would accuse her of smoking meth, but you know. I had one young mom, I said, so when do you take your Ionics? She had 3 boys, 8, 7, and 5. These are her words. Not quite this deep, but for effects, this is what she said. 6:30 in the morning, before the little buggers get up. And then 2:30 in the afternoon, before the little buggers get off the bus. I think she was having her fill of testosterone daily. We call Ionics Mama's Happy Juice that isn't vodka. Yay. So, fly fishing rule number 1 was, when someone asks you a question, get them to help you answer the question. So there's a give and take. Fly fishing principle number 2 is get them to talk about themselves. Now, this is kind of the opposite of what we're trained on when we're 30-second story, 30-second story, 30-second story, 30-second story. Here's the problem with the 30-second story. If your story isn't directly related to their number 1 felt need about their health, they listen to your 30-second story for 10 seconds. They're gone. Why? You're not talking about their favorite subject, which happens to be themselves. So you can't share an isogenic story until you've asked more questions in a general fashion to know what interests them. We're going to give you a magic question tonight that will lay that up for you. And it works. It works just the way we give it to you. It works, and it'll allow you to get them talking about themselves. When you're having an enrolling conversation with someone, you want to kind of test yourself and say, how many times have I been breathing while I'm still talking? I think I can do 2 breaths, not 3. And it can't be, now let me talk about ICJ. No, it can't be like, it has to be a normal conversation. If you find, wow, I've had like 14 breaths and this person is turning blue, I should probably stop talking. I'm doing too much on my end. There has to be a give and take, or inevitably, you're going to stop talking about their favorite subject, which is them. Does that make sense? For instance, one of my mentees from Texas, at some kind of a social setting, met a woman who was 60, 70 pounds overweight. But she didn't talk about weight loss with her, even though Mary had a real weight loss story. She said, so imagine nutrition could transform anything about your health. What would you choose to transform first? And the woman said, I know you're looking at me and think I need to lose weight. I know, I need to lose weight. That's not my problem. Okay, what's your problem? I didn't look like this 2 years ago. What? This happened in the last 2 years to me. It's driving me crazy. But it's not weight loss related. No, I haven't enjoyed a meal of any kind in 2 years. So, well, what's wrong with you? I don't know. I've gone to every doctor you can think of. I don't enjoy food at all. And for some reason, it makes me eat more of it. I didn't have this problem 2 years ago. Mary said, oh, then let's not worry about weight loss. Let's worry about what's the state of your gut. You know, we got these things called active enzymes. They're in our shakes, but you can also buy them to eat with your food. I wonder if you don't have enough stuff going on in your belly when you eat. Why don't we try that? So you're not going to talk to me about losing weight? Mary said, I don't care how much you weigh. I want you to be happy. Oh, okay, then I'll go. And she joined only to get her tummy healthy. And guess what? It was the active enzymes. It's exactly what it was. And she had to not just have the active enzymes in her shakes, she had to take the pills, especially when she ate red meat. She wasn't processing red meat in her tummy anymore on her own. And I have a number of friends here that do exactly the same thing. Specifically for red meat, they take 2 of the active enzyme pills before they eat it. And guess what? No discomfort, no pain. They actually enjoy the meal. Wow. If we get stuck in our story so much, we will profile other people. And when we profile other people, we might be talking about something they have no interest in the world in. I'll be 52 this month. I'm not a little guy. I'm a big guy. I'm a 46 tall. I'm only 6'1", but I wear a size 13 wedding ring and a size 13 shoe. And this is a triple extra large motorcycle helmet head. I'm not a little guy. Don't talk to me about weight loss because I don't care. Don't care. I base what shape I'm in on whether my button-up Levi's fit. And if my button-up Levi's fit, perfect size. If they don't fit, I need to buy new jeans. I'm too cheap. Can't have that. Go back down. And that's it. I don't know how much I weigh. Why? I don't care. I don't care how much I weigh. I don't know at any time in the future that my wife is going to be selling me by the pound. I don't care. What I want to do, I want to work on staying strong. I want to work on not losing my muscle mass. Most of you don't know this, but as men age, we lose something, and it's called our bums. They just disappear. All of a sudden, you don't have a bum anymore. I used to have a bum. Now, I'm becoming like a frog. My legs are going right into my back. There's nothing else there, just right in my back. We don't have any wooden chairs for me to sit in the house because it makes a clicking noise when my bum hits the wooden chair, and it's my bum hitting the chair. Why? Because I'm losing muscle mass. What's that have to do with weight? Nothing. I just don't want to lose muscle mass. That's all I care about. I want to be able to sit on a hard surface without splintering myself. Why? Because I'm 52, and when you're tall and 52, that's the first thing you lose, strangely, is your bum. Now, growing up, I never would have thought, someday I'm going to have to go looking for my bum. It was always there. It's not there anymore. It's going away. Now, there's not a lot of exercises that you can do specifically over there that don't make you look really ridiculous. So I've got to make sure that I'm putting in really solid nutrition into my body so that I keep my bum. Now, that's really not a video you can do on Facebook. Just saying. Why do you use superfoods? Well, my biggest need is my bum. It's missing. Can't do that. Even though a lot of men would say, I know exactly what you're feeling. I've become a frog as well. But you wait. You'll be married to a 50-some-year-old man one day when, honey, we need to send out a search and rescue party. Why? You've lost your bum. It will happen to you, and you'll know PK wasn't lying. I thought he was just making it up. Maybe it's a Canadian thing. Maybe it's frostbite. No, it's not frostbite. It's not Canadian. It's being a 50-something-year-old man. So when people say, are you interested in losing weight? No, because some of that weight is my bum. I don't want to lose any weight. I want to add muscle mass. I want to add muscle and strength. But how much do I weigh? My Levi's were baggy on Saturday. I'm great. I used 3 new notches on my belt on Saturday. Now, I say on Saturday, I was doing a live training, and I only wear buttons when I have to go train. That's one of my signs of success, is not having to wear anything with a button. So I live in sweats and sneakers and hoodies. And then when I have to go in front of people and talk, then I actually wear clothes that have buttons on them. Only for that short period of time, and go back and wear my sweats and sneakers and hoodies, because this is my idea of success. I was a minister for 20 years and wore a suit and tie. I hated every second of it. I don't have to do that anymore. So, see how much people love to talk about themselves? I just made you listen about my bum for 5 minutes, right? People love to talk about themselves. That's what you're wanting to get from people. And hopefully you'll be the bum and you can cry like some of you have been crying right now. Kayla was actually crying. So was Norma. She was wiping away tears. She was crying over. I'm glad that you're sad about me losing my bum. It really makes me care for you. You two more than the other 3, just because of that. Thank you. So, principle number 1 was, when they ask a question, always get them to help you answer the question. Principle number 2, get them to talk about themselves. And principle number 3, we just did. Get them to chuckle. Laughter, humor, even making fun of yourself in a lighthearted way, puts a little memory dart in their brain, and they don't forget the conversation. In fact, you won't forget any of this conversation because of 5 minutes of talking about my missing bum. It's self-deprecating. I'm not making fun of anybody else. I'm talking about my own frog-like existence that I'm going through, right? When you do those 3 things in a conversation, people naturally want to stay connected with you. Now, I've been doing this for so long, I can't not do it. I was at the grocery store buying dog food and ended up talking about Africa and Malawi with a couple behind me. I didn't bring up Africa. I brought up a barbecue sauce they were buying for their chicken that looked like it was coming in a whiskey bottle. And they talked about how you got to have something to drink with it. And I said, you know what? I haven't had anything to drink in 2017. Haven't cracked a pop of anything, nothing. Wow. And they shook my hand like I accomplished something. I'm not an alcoholic. I just thought I'd not drink. Oh, well, good for you. And then something came up about Africa. And I then talked about my work in Africa for 5 minutes while we waited in the grocery line. And because I talked about their barbecue and their thing that looked like a whiskey bottle, they wanted to hear about my Africa story. But they had to go first. Here's the rule we live by. I meet a complete stranger. I'm going to ask 5 great questions about them. I'm going to exhaust them talking about them. And I'm going to hone in my last 3 of the 5 questions on whatever I want them to ask back to me. Now, you all live where there is snow. You know about walking footprints in the snow. This is exactly what you do to people when you use the 5 and 3 rule. Your last 3 questions are the same 3 footsteps they're going to take back to you. So if you talk about health and nutrition about them, they'll ask you questions about your health and nutrition. If you ask questions about their career or their business, especially their business, they'll ask about your business. Why? They can't help themselves. Why? You made the pathway in the snow. They don't go a different route. They go right back to you the same way. That means you've got to be comfortable in casual conversation talking about this, which you're passionate about. I'll run into people, they say, you know, isogenics never comes up. That's because all you talk about is your puppies. What? I've been with you. You talk about your dogs all the time. Oh, I do, don't I? So guess what you ask them? Whether they have a dog. Oh, I do, don't I? Yeah, you're now in the dog footprints in the snow. You're not going to talk about business. You're not going to talk about nutrition. Now, I have 5 horses, 6 donkeys, 0 saddles. We don't even ride them. They're just big dogs that eat hay, right? 3 dogs, 2 cats, and 20,000 bees. Who cares? I don't bring that up in conversation unless it's about them. What do I want to do? I want to talk about business. I want to talk about health and nutrition. Or I want to talk about aid in Africa. And I can have those 3 conversations anytime I want them based on what I ask them about themselves. Now, you will run into people who don't want to know anything about you. They'll just talk about themselves and walk away. Cool, done. Don't worry about them. Why? They're self-absorbed. Don't worry about them. Don't worry about them. But people that are just kind of open and ethical and honest, if you asked 5 great questions about them, they'll ask at least 3 about you. Now, something that creates curiosity is when someone asks you what you do. Now, we've all got different answers for that from our day jobs, so we don't go into that. Well, I've got my day job like everybody else. But what I'm really excited about is the family-based business I recently opened. What is it about isogenics that is so unique that what you own is actually a family-based business? What are you allowed to do with your isogenics business after you go to heaven?
You can leave it in your will.
You can bequest your isogenics position to your children. So your position grows after you're not here anymore. This is truly a family-based business. Now, 70% of the American population dreams of owning their own business. If you can learn to pepper your description of yourself with the fact that you're excited about the family-based business you recently opened, you're going to have people asking questions about your business. But honestly, it's one that's really hard for people to do. You might be early doing your business. You may not see yourself as something that's large enough to call a business yet. But the fact is, you all own a business. None of you work for Isogenics. I don't work for Isogenics. You all are separate business entities that partner with Isogenics. You partner with the industry-leading experts in superfoods. That's what you do. You don't work for them. You're not a salesperson for Isogenics. You're an independent business owner. And most of the people you know dream of owning their own business. This is a major shift for most people, though, to start self-describing yourself as a business owner, as someone who partners with the industry-leading experts in superfoods. But as you make that shift, you'll have people asking more questions about what on earth you're doing. One of the questions we like to ask people is on a post on evolvedeconomy.com. It's right on the first page. There's a picture of lots of fruits and vegetables on it, and it's the magic question. And the magic question is, imagine nutrition could transform anything about your health. What would you choose to transform first? And it's in a little card right there on evolvedeconomy.com. And what we ask you to do your first week is to have as many fly fishing conversations as you can this week so that you can ask that question of people and then listen to their answer. Listen to how you should be having a connecting conversation with them based upon what they tell you. Now, you may look at the card and say, imagine nutrition could transform anything about your health. What would you choose to transform first? PK, I don't talk like that. Oh, I know. That's part of the problem. You want to dumb it down to what would you like to change about your health? Or what are your health goals? No. The reason it's worded that way is that the decision to begin to invest in your health with superfoods is primarily an emotional decision not an intellectual decision. You have to learn to talk with words that have high emotional density in them. They make an impact emotionally when you talk to people. Imagine, transform, choose, transform one more time. First, all things that touch people emotionally. One of the big mistakes we make in isogenics is we get really smart and we stop connecting with people emotionally about what their needs are. It's why the number one enrollers in isogenics are people who've been doing it for less than a year. In fact, 82% of all the people enrolled in isogenics are enrolled by people who've been doing it for less than a year. Why? They don't have a lot of information to give you. They're just super excited and really dumb. Don't have a clue, but this is great. You gotta do it. And they join. And then we go to 6 conferences and come back. Let's talk about the molecular structure of acidophilus and how it will impact your molecules and change your blah, 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 blah. Guess what? They're not joining. Why? Tried to connect with them intellectually, didn't bother to try to connect with them emotionally. Your homework this week, other than the big ugly binder, is find that card on evolvedeconomy.com and ask it to as many people as you can to see what their greatest need is. Make them the subject of conversation. Don't think about what you've got to say to them. Just be interested in what's their greatest unmet need that nutrition could solve. Would you be willing to try that this week? Please feel free to break the record. The record is held by a gentleman from Texas. He asked it of 5 people his first week. He enrolled 3 of them just by asking this question. Now, you're going to be dubious of the length of it and the verbiage of it. Just let me tell you, 3 years we've been teaching this one concept, and it always comes back. You got to use the question. The question works. The question gets the subject to where you want it to get to. And for those of you who are very artsy and very like to do things in the moment, it's duplicatable. Remember, we're going to learn how to do things that the person right behind us can do with the same results. Because if we don't do it that way, we're only building a job. We're not building a business. It has to be duplicatable. So, homework for going to Walmart, getting ugly binder and loose leaf, and asking the question of as many people as possible. Willing to try that this week? Next week, we'll learn how to use a simple script, and the script will allow you to enroll 30 to 100% of your people with value packs. And we will do that without the use of heroin or hypnosis. Just a simple script. You can use heroin or hypnosis if you want to. That's your bag. That's completely up to you. Kaylee can probably get you the heroin, just saying. But we're not going to show you how to do that. We're going to show you how to use a very simple, it takes 70 seconds to say the script. 70-second script. And your average enrollment will become a value pack. Sound like a plan? Excellent. Nice to meet you all, folks. Have a great week.
Thank you.
You're welcome. See you guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.